Well, a very good afternoon and welcome along to today's Lite Bite lunch. Delighted to say we have a wonderful panel of guests joining us today. Joining us, we have Anne Healy from Biddy's Good Luck Horseshoes.
Thanks a million, Rory.
We have Kapil Khan from the All Ireland Business Foundation. And we have
Hi,
John
everyone.
from Bending the Barrow Handmade Soaps. We do hope John Paul Phelan will be joining us in a little while. I know he was just running a little bit late at a meeting there, and hopefully he'll be in before too long. So, what I like to do, I always like to start by inviting the guests to tell us a little bit about what it is they do. So, we'll start with yourself, Peel, if you want to just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Rory. So my name is Kapil Khanna. In my job, I am a managing director and the co-founder of the All Ireland Business Foundation. The All Ireland Business Foundation is a national autonomous accreditation body where we recognize and acknowledges the country's most ambitious business leaders. We are the awarding body for the Business All-Star Marquee, which recognizes the best-in-class companies those merit recognition based upon the trust, performance, and the customer centricity. We, at the foundation, we have over 500 plus accredited companies who use the All-Star emblem as a badge of honor. That's about the AIBF. Originally, I came from India to Ireland back in 2009. So this is my officially 12th year in Ireland. I live in Leixlip, Kildare, raising my young family, 2 kids. That's about me, Rory. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks very much, Kapil. And next, we'll hear from John Hart from Bending the Barrow Soaps.
Thank you for inviting me, Rory. Bending Barrel Soap started out as an idea back in about 2011 when my youngest daughter was in fifth class in secondary school, and our fifth year. And I was thinking about what could I do now. I was too old and a bit long in the tooth as a home dad to get a job in the job market. So I decided right then and there, rather than spending the time looking for that, what sort of business could I start out? And so I thought back to when I was in college, and there were all sorts of crafters around making different things. And I thought, well, what could I do? And so I tried making a batch of soap and worked out. And so I went from there, and we started making soaps. And now I make soap, shaving soap, beard oil, massage oil, lip balm, shea body butter, and the chapped hand balm. And the list grows. And that's about it. And also I've started up a company called Irish Makers Markets. That's the latest thing. And so we trade at markets and online. That's how we don't wholesale. So our delivery system is a bit different than most. Thank you, Rory.
That's great. Thanks, John. And we also have some good luck brought to the show from Anne Healy in Biddy's Good Luck Horseshoes.
Thanks a million, Rory. So I'm Anne Healy, and I make beautiful pieces of good luck from the genuine horseshoe. I suppose I make something that brings joy and happiness on a good day and will certainly lift the spirit on a bad day. I suppose when I set up Biddy's Good Luck Horseshoes, I wanted to make pieces of good luck that you could share with your family and friends. And you know what, Rory? I'm incredibly lucky that I get a chance to do that every single day. So a business that was started out of my children's hobby, riding. I'm into tradition, and I absolutely love the tradition of the horseshoe. So there you go. A beautiful business that I can immerse myself in every single day. So thanks a million for having me.
That's great. Thanks a lot. And what I will do, of course, is after the show, I will put links to all the individual businesses up on the various pages, and people will be able to look back and find out how to make contact with you.
Super. Thanks.
So, as we have two of you from the craft world here, I think that would be a good place to start. Then, when it comes to finding the right market for your goods, do you do the hard slog and do a whole range of different craft fairs, gift fairs, outdoor markets, indoor markets, or is there actually a secret to finding the right locations?
Away you go, John.
Okay. Well, I've been had quite some time,
Oh.
and indeed, we took a shotgun approach. We went around the country, visited every place. Matter of fact, one of the first places I was in the Docklands, where I met Rory at a market, and and things have gone on from there. And to this day, we've made various decisions, and one was to not wholesale. I've seen other people go into business, out of business. And once COVID came on, I am so glad I decided not to wholesale, because there's a lot of people that make soap, and about the only place you find their soaps are in gift shops, which are tourist oriented. And so right now, there's a lot of markets closed down. All the gift fairs and things like that, they're not in operation. And so we're selling online. Now, it's not as big as it was. This business isn't as good, but we're at least in business. There's a lot of people out of business. So we're happy out. We cut down our expenses, and we're making ends meet plus a little bit. Now we're starting up our own market, coming this Saturday. Irish Makers Market's going to have its first market since February. We closed down in February because of COVID. And now, with most everybody having 2 jabs in the countryside, we decided it's time to start up again. And so we're starting up our own market, and we expect to do very well on Saturday and pushing forward.
And where's that market on Saturday, John?
It's in Kildare Town, Kildare Square, which they've pedestrianized, and it's looking up. Kildare Town's looking better and better every day. Yeah.
Good. Well, wishing you the very best of luck with that. And
Thank you.
what type of stall holders and the like would be there? Like, if I wanted to bring up some of her creations, would there be a stall there for her? Or
she'd have to apply, to be honest. We have insurance restrictions, so we have 10 stalls, okay, and 1 guest stall. And we try to concentrate on, to be honest, consumables, so food consumables and craft consumables. So I have one of the few craft consumables in soap, and so it'd be mostly bread and then cheese and things like that. And then the first market's going to have more than the average craft people at it, because it's hard to find the food people aren't as fast to move as craft people. So but it's limited. So Anne could apply, but you have to have insurance in the stall and all of that. But to be fair, we have to we have to be fair to everybody. So you have to meet all the criteria. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Rory, I'm going to have to work on John there now. So I am.
Well, that's exactly it. I think we'll have to do something all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, I think we're going to have a chat.
No winks and nods. No.
Yeah. But no, I think one of the great things that I see, because I travel around the country quite a bit, and you go to these fairs, and so many of them can be so different from each other. Yeah. And that's the simple reason I was asking, that when people come down to your fair on Saturday, what can they actually expect to see? Do you ever get out to look at any of these markets, or go to visit any of these types of things?
Sure, yeah. I love some of the local markets we have in the Black Rock, in the Lucan side as well. So I love talking to these passionate, the small business owner, because they inject so much of their love and passion into the product, which is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. There is, you can't spend the hours upon hours doing what they do if they didn't love it.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I'm actually laughing because John, even though we're kind of in the same space,
mm-hmm.
I'm probably thinking differently to you now. Like you're ready to go out again in the I suppose markets or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I started, I suppose, my business in 2019. I would have spent a bit of 2018 and certainly all of 2019 being out and about. I did Bloom, I did the horse show, I did, because I'm in a kind of a wedding space as well, I did a lot of wedding fairs and markets. And 2020 then came, March 2020, and I suppose everything that I was putting my thoughts into and my prospect list and everything was obviously shattered with COVID. So I changed slightly and I decided, you can lie down at that point then, or you can try and do something different. And I suppose with me, because I can't sit still, I'd have to be doing something. So I kind of went on a getting out there. And Rory, the likes of yourself, small radio stations, big radio stations, Ireland AM, I was really lucky that I got slots on a lot. People have been very generous to me and letting me on just to tell what I did. And that that completely turned me around. And now I work very much online now, very much on the phone. And I do a personalized gift that is boxed, gift wrapped, and it's an experience now for somebody to get in the post. Will I go out again? Probably yes. But my business is actually quite good now online, and online has been a real game changer for me. And that's the honest to God's truth. Now I do a lot of talking. I'm on the phone all the time. And that's how I do connect with my customers if they're looking for something, because I do make a very personalized gift. Like they're up on the website, but each one is made for a person. But COVID, I suppose, for me, really did shake me up, for want of a better word, and get me thinking in a different way. And it's wonderful because now I can serve customers everywhere, and from Kerry to Donegal, from Dublin to Galway, and I'm sending gifts worldwide, not every day, but every week. And that's what online has done for me. And I suppose COVID made me do that, which is a great thing. So it really kind of, made me kind of change how I look at what I'm doing. And you know what? In one sense, 2019, I suppose, and John, you can appreciate this, because when you're going to craft fairs and whatever, you're taking what you hope people will buy. And I suppose it's a real kind of, you could have a good day or you could have a bad day, and the weather makes a difference. Everything makes a difference, the amount of people around and whatever. Whereas now, I suppose I make what's ordered, and I make something that's just for that person, and I'm concentrating only on that person, and that's so good, and it kind of adds to the little bit of uniqueness as well, which is great. So when somebody gets the gift, they know it's just made for them.
Yeah, our business, go ahead.
Sorry, John. Go on. Yeah,
I was just going to say our business is a bit different. We've built up over the years 6,700 some followers on Facebook. Like the page. Yeah. And so when COVID came, people just started shopping online. And so I really, over the past half year to, almost a year, I haven't done any promotion whatsoever. And people just come and, the orders keep on increasing. And then shaving soap, I have to say that's a great business. It's, I guess it's a testament to the, how good our products are, and that people have come and they like them, and they come back and where are you? And I say, well, we're not going to be out to the markets until probably late summer, early autumn, which has panned out to be the fact. And so it's and I get orders from around the world as well, and it's great. Sending off shaving soap to Germany and France and other far-flung places. It's great. So I don't.
And it is a testament for the brand as well.
Yeah. And so we don't like you make gifts for people, but it's just to make the product and send it out and know that people really enjoy it. To get an order for 300 mils of beard oil from a man, and you have never met before, and he must have tried it somewhere, and he wants more of it. I have a man in Australia. His wife, he so likes our beard oil. He has to. He said, could you ship it to me? I said, no, I can't, but maybe, it's my wife, she travels both sides of the border. We went up north and they could take it by Royal Post. So we shipped it off to Australia by Royal Post. He puts it on every day so his wife can, because his wife likes it so much after a shower. He just uses it as a body oil. So
Rory, can I take over here and ask John a question?
Go ahead.
Sure.
John, sorry, Capella, I'm leaving you out now for a second. Your name, Bend in the Barrel.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
We live about two cow pastures off the Barrow. That's where it comes from. And we're in Monasterevin. And so the Barrow River, it starts up in the Sleeve Blue Mountains, comes down Port Arlington, then it's heading east and then bends south.
Oh, I'm a Laois woman. I know all about it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Rosnellis, somewhere near Rosnellis, I believe it is. It starts up. Yeah.
Very
And
good.
so, yeah,
Very
that's
good.
where. And so we did a brainstorming session. We came up with the name. I didn't want to call it John. So if I wanted to build a brand and something that could be sold on if necessary at some point in the future. So, it's a rather catchy name, I think. Yeah.
Very good.
And the fact that you asked about it, that might, that's, I think I hear that a few times. Where'd you come from that? Where did that come from? So I'll just look up, right here. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Well done.
I'm sure
Thank you.
for you, as someone who does a lot of mentoring, to hear the different stories there.
Sorry, Roy.
I'm saying to Kapil that it must resonate with him quite a lot, hearing the different stories that were both pathways to success, like proving the point there is no one true way to get to the best results. It's all about trial and error in business.
Absolutely.
Oh, completely. Rory, trial and error. You don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's it's the error that you learn from, which is so wonderful as well. And I'm sure Kapil and John will agree with that. That's the one that I suppose once it's not a major error. Like errors sometimes teach us, what works for us as well.
There's no such thing as errors.
You learn from it. You absolutely learn from it, and you have to stand back and just I probably wouldn't use the word error either, but it's something that you learn from and move on from, and that's once you're able to do that, you're away with it.
Absolutely agree with you. So, you had a great article there yesterday, Kapil, up on LinkedIn. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure, Rory. So I think that article I just got inspiration yesterday morning and reflecting back 12 years of my life in Ireland. And I was thinking, I was feeling very blessed that I got a chance to work with probably over 500 plus businesses so far. And, as a mentor, as an advisor, supporting them. And I've been thinking and reflecting upon, that what makes somebody business super successful, not so successful, struggling, or complete disaster. So, and I was thinking that it's actually you can literally draw some pattern of success or the habits or traits of some of the high performer entrepreneurs and business owners I worked in the past. So I was just thinking, if I would have to write a note for my future self or my young self, what would I say? And I just start writing stuff, and there are 37 points I written up in that article. The success patterns or the habits and traits the successful entrepreneurs exhibit or portray in day-to-day life. So do you want me to go through a few of them which top of my mind? What would you suggest?
Pick through 5 or 6 of
I
them
want
there.
to hear them. Go on.
Absolutely.
Sure, and I think that the one of the thing, Rory, I found that I think a lot of successful people, they're very brutally honest with themselves. First and foremost, they're not. Of course, we all dream. We want to have freedom, financial freedom, wealth, and all of that. But they're very brutally honest because they exactly know what kind of business they want to build for themselves. Whether are they building a lifestyle business or the business that they want to scale and sell and exit in the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? I think that's very important because say if you're saying to yourself that I want to make 200,000 a year or 50,000, whatever, depending upon our own ambition, but your efforts, energy is not matching your expectation, you will always feel guilty about that. Because see, I was speaking to somebody and they said, oh, I only want to work 3 days in a week. Lifestyle is very important for me. But I said, okay, what's your ambition for the business? 1 million. Where are you right now? 100,000. So how are you going to make a bridge between 900,000? So you can still see that they're not honest with themselves. I think it's very important to be brutally honest. What kind of business I'm building, or I am being focused on that. I think the second thing is once you are brutally honest, what I have seen, they're hyper focused, and I use the word hyper focused, which means that they, as John mentioned about shotgun approach, I call it bazooka approach or the sniper approach, where a lot of business owner who sometimes who struggles with no, with all due respect, because it's very listen. Starting a business is one of the most difficult thing you do in your lifetime. It's like you're having delivering a four babies. I was speaking to one mother, and it's as painful as that, right? So it is very overwhelming. So I think that when you are running a business, sometimes you take a bazooka approach, and you go in a field and shoot a bazooka and hope it will hit somebody, and I'll have my dinner. But I think the when you take a sniper approach, where it means you're very hyper focused, who are your target audience, where are they hanging around, how I'm going to sell to them, get money from them, and deliver to them. That is kind of a hyper focused approach. Is very useful rather than spreading yourself too thin on that part. That's one of the point I written. What else I written? The other thing, is I often see that there is never a perfect time. If I think a lot of successful businesses, they just start before they're ready, which means they start testing the market, they start testing the product in a beta phase, and then they start selling, improvising the product as they go along every single day, rather than waiting on the perfect time. You know why? Because nothing is ever perfect.
But the other thing they do is they go and ask the Irish mammy, who will always tell them how wonderful they are, no matter how good or bad it is.
Yeah, yeah. I would say probably Irish people are very humble and shy. They don't give themselves the credit they deserve sometimes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but
So listen, there are 36 points I've written. I think one of the thing is very important is to also identify, they know their core strengths. So for example, if somebody is a fantastic speaker, or a communicator, or they're fantastic in administration or operations, but they're not very comfortable in selling, pitching, following up. I think it's very important to realize your true strength, where are your true strengths lies,
Mm.
and surround yourself with, it could be the team or virtual assistant or the mentor, or on a contractors, who will bring the complementary skill set to have a complete business cycle. Because see, business is not only all about marketing. A business is not only about sales. Business is not only about you know the producing product, or deliver, or the just only thinking and creativity. Business is a three legs stool, which means that you need to have a right product, right mix. You need to attract the market, which is second leg, and you need to deliver the promise. So sometime, if you have imagine sitting on a wobbly stool where one leg is smaller than other, you will always feel shaky. So I think you need to bring that balance in the business, either by learning the skill set or bring somebody else. Otherwise, it's always very struggling.
yeah, I think that's very, very true. And again, rather than waste additional time on the areas you're not strong at, pay somebody to do it. And yes, it may seem like an outlay in the beginning, but where there's an area you're not as comfortable in,
Yeah,
by,
and
by all means, budget in and pay someone to do that, so that that is one stress you don't have, so you can focus on your own areas of expertise.
brilliant, brilliant. I think Rory mentioned this is a very important point. Another example, right? One of the conversation I had with somebody, and I said, how much you value your per hour. He said, what do you mean? I said, tell me, how much you value your hourly. If you have to pay yourself an hourly fee for your skill set, how much you would put a value on that. And the person said to me, at least 150 euro. And I said, look back into last week and see what kind of a job you have been doing in your business. They say, I've been doing from the photocopying to scanning and faxing and following up for the payments and all that jobs. And I said, if you're putting a value to your hourly rate is 150 euro, and you're not doing those high payoff activities, and you're doing a low payoff activity, which you could easily delegate to somebody else, and pay the person to do that job really well, because you don't enjoy doing this job anyway. You cringe on them, but you're still doing it. So why don't give a job to a bookkeeper who will do the job very well because they love doing bookkeeping, and you do the high payoff activity, meeting client, reaching out in the marketplace, maybe doing your webinar or podcast, and really, really earn that 150 euros. So I think it's very important to really respect and value your time, put a money value on that, and then you'll be very ruthless in terms of what you do and what you don't do.
Yeah,
That probably just comes with time as well, though, Kapil. Like, that's something that people sometimes have to learn to do, you know, to give away that little bit that somebody else is capable of doing it,
Yeah.
you know.
I-
And
It
just,
business is
you
very
know,
personal.
somebody starting off, that might not be a priority, I suppose. And I
Sure.
turn that on myself and say that, you know, starting off, you are trying to be all things to all people, and you're trying to do everything as well. Now, it's only as I'm growing, that I'm actually knowing now that my skill, what they are,
Sure.
and what I'm good at, and that some of the jobs that are involved in my business that I can outsource and get them done really well, you know, and the amount of time that it saves. But that is something that, you know, I suppose you only learn that as you go on. And I suppose that's where probably mentoring comes in as well, that you're getting outside expertise, or you're getting somebody to kind of guide you on that as well, you know. So
Sure.
that's
I hear
very
your point
important.
completely.
Yeah.
And again, it's important not just to have a mentor to tell you you're doing it wrong, but to say, rather than the way you're doing it may work for you, but they can see there's a better way. So it has to be put across as, have you considered going X, Y, Z route
Oh,
to reach
absolutely.
your final
Yeah.
point? Because
Yeah.
that's the other thing, is finding the right mentor for the right type of business and the right scenario.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I suppose, and somebody that's going to see your vision as well, you know.
I wish I would have had a mentor when I first got out of college. That would have been great, you know, because I'm up there retirement years, and I've started my business rather late in life, and I pretty much decided to start out a niche business. No, it's a niche business that I'm in, natural products and soaps and such. It's when COVID came on. That's an interesting thing. So when COVID, I was on the cusp of expanding. Okay, and I had an old cottage on the property. We had put a new roof on it, and I was just going to, you know, stainless steel tables and everything. And the guys had to come back. Sony and Norcas had, you know, these two guys were supposed to come back and help me kit it out, and then there was no money to bring them back, and they couldn't travel anyhow, even if I had the money, you know. And so now we're getting back to the markets, and I'm hoping they're going to be able to, people will be able to travel again. And so I'm hopefully then be able to, you know, expand a bit, bring more money in, and be able to do these things. But you know, it all comes with time. And I never really had the plan to be a big, to, you know, have a big business, was to provide a comfortable retirement, because I really don't have a pension other than Social Security. So my wife's much younger than I am, so she's still working. And as we go into, as she comes into retirement age, you know, the two of us will work on the business. And you know, one friend is helping us, and he's our legal advisor, and he helps make soap, and he does. And so the three of us are together, you know, make a go of it, and you know, we're happy out with it. And I don't have any vision of you know, competing with the likes of who are the big, I don't even know who the big manufacturers of soap are. Would it be Colgate Palmolive? Yeah, Colgate Palmolive. I have no, you know, ambition whatsoever to getting there. But if we could be the biggest factor in natural soaps in Ireland, you know, I'd be happy out. You know, that would, yeah, that would keep me happy. Yeah. And it takes time. You know, we've got maybe a fraction of 1% of the market, you know, in Ireland. You know, but you know, we're happy out doing what we do, and I think that's important.
Since the regulations have started lifting and we've been able to go indoors for a bite to eat and that type of thing, has anyone actually ventured out and ventured into any restaurants, or would you still opt for the outdoor dining where possible?
I haven't been out to eat at all, and until I can go, you know, I haven't even been to my local pub. I was one time, and everybody had the masks on, and I frankly am not going to go out to eat until I can go out and sit down and be served by somebody without a face mask on. I'm just not, you know, I'm just not comfortable. You know, I want things back to normal before I go out and, you know, have a meal. I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah,
And
no,
I have
no.
a neighbor, and that's why I feel so lucky that I'm in the business I am. I have a neighbor who owns a restaurant. He's out of business. All his kids are in the same business. They have jobs in the same industry, and they're all, they've all been out of work. It's just terrible. So
Yeah.
I feel blessed in the way because everybody in our family is working. They have jobs that are, recession resistant, and so. Yeah, you bring up the restaurant industry. That's a tough business, even in good times, and now it's even tougher. Yeah, I wouldn't want to
I
be there.
actually have been out during the day, and it was a lovely experience. So I was delighted to get out and dine inside. So no, it's good, and for it wasn't particularly busy the day we were there, but at the same time it was lovely for everybody. So no, Rory, I'm glad to be able to go
Does the
back out,
service?
or at least
Let me ask
have
you
the
a que-
choice.
Let me ask you a question. Does the service staff still have the masks on in the restaurant you ate in?
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, and they were
Because
very.
I've had one meal out with my wife. We went. She, like I said, she covers the 26 counties in her job. Intensive care units went out, and so I went up with her. She had a job in Belfast. We went up there, stayed in the Hilton, and there we got service, and we were able to have a table. And the servers didn't have the face mask on. It was rather pleasant, and everything was well spaced out, and all this, and everybody kept their distance, proper distance. So it's all very civilized. But that's the one time.
The only argument I would make on that, John, is
Sorry?
the only argument I would make on that is the case numbers in the north are climbing at a faster rate than they are in the south. So personally, I'm happy to see the face mask last as long as possible until they have it totally under control, because I don't believe it is under control yet.
The one thing you have to look at is the people that are getting it now are primarily those that have chosen not to get the vaccine. And it's not as this one thing I mentioned, my wife works in the intensive care units, and the numbers in the intensive care units are not accelerating at the pace they were previously. So some people are getting sick, they have cases, but it's not as serious as and I don't think if people lose their heads and you're pack into places and belly up to bars, belly up to each other like they were doing in Temple Bar in the middle of the thing, well then it could all go pear-shaped again. But I hope people keep their heads, and keep their distance, because I think a lot of it's just keeping your distance from people and using common sense. But I guess there's a lot of people out there that have none of that. So it's tough.
And
It's a tough call. Really. Tough call.
I know, Kapil, you used to regularly meet people in hotels and that type of thing. So have you been back doing any face-to-face meetings in hotels?
Oh yeah, I have done that, absolutely.
Yeah.
And enjoying it, not at the pace that they were before, but definitely, having, 2-3 meetings a weekly basis for lunch, or the people who are vaccinated, they're very comfortable. I think it's now becoming more of a choice, who wants to meet. And, it was so funny that other day, in between a communication, somebody asked for a meeting and say, I am fully vaccinated and we can meet now. So that has become like now a punchline in the email, that I'm fully vaccinated now, to let's meet up.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, which is great, and the choice is I suppose the thing as well. So at least we have a choice, which is and it's like going to visit the local hotel or restaurant. If the weather's good and you stay outside, that's great. But you also have the choice of going inside if it's raining or whatever. So it is all about choice.
I mean, for me personally, what I actually did through lockdown, because like that, I would travel around the country. I would meet clients in hotel receptions and that type of thing, because I'm too mean to actually pay to book a meeting room for the short time I'd be with them. But what I would do was I actually bought a van and I converted the back of the van into an office on wheels. And LED lighting. And when the back door is open, then I have a table goes across the back door. I can hand seats out to them. They can sit down, do all the paperwork we have to do. I can then wipe everything down, fold it up, and I've got my sanitized office ready for the next client I go to see.
Oh my God, Rory, that's very
Rory,
elaborate.
you must send a picture of that, please.
Yeah, I will do. But I'll tell you though, what was
the mobile accountant.
What was actually far nicer though was when it was actually possible to go in and sit down in a hotel foyer again and have a cup of coffee and not be jumping from the back of the van into the front of the van to the back of the van.
Brilliant.
You'll definitely have to put up a photograph of that on LinkedIn. We want to see
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yes, no problem at all. As I said, it's literally a small coffee table that is strapped into the van using bungee cords that I literally just untag, swing it around, and there's your table across. The chairs are strapped in. In actual
It must
fact,
be a big van. It must be a fairly big van. And I've got a Vivaro for my business, and I'm trying to get rid of it because I don't like driving it. It's too big, And so
it
to do
is
that,
a
you must have.
Vivaro I use.
Sorry,
It is a Vivaro I have.
you have a Vivaro as well. I want to get rid of mine. It's just too big for me. It's just to move it around the I just to park it up on our property here. It's too big. I'd like to have something much smaller. Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't relish operating out of it. That's for sure. That'd be tough.
Well, no. Again, it's a case of
Yeah.
some of the clients I have are very much old school. They're pen and paper.
Oh yeah.
They don't have smartphones. They don't have email addresses. Right, and they want to meet with their accountant to go through their paperwork. And I had to find a way to make that work. I wasn't comfortable arriving and going into somebody's home where I may have to go on to see somebody else. And so I had to find a solution that would work. And so that was my way of doing that.
That's very tough for those people. I just got noticed that AIB, we had our original account. We moved to Ireland and Dalkey. Okay, now we're out in Kildare now, and I got noticed they're closing that branch and they're moving everybody to Dunleary. I just can't believe it. All these old people that live in that area now they're going to have to traipse up to Dunleary to do their banking. It's just and I'm sure those same people. It's different. It's unbelievable how things have gone. Yeah.
Right. Well, one question that all our guests always get asked when they come on the show is asked about their light bite lunch, their favorite light bite lunch. So we'll start with yourself, Anne. What is your go-to for something quick for a light bite lunch?
Oh my God, Rory! If you looked in my fridge, you're talking about something that I can eat now, or something that I'm listening to. Which is it? Something that
No, something that you can eat. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you went to my fridge, it would be something salady and light on lovely brown bread. So there you go. That's my go-to for quickness, and that's what I'll be having shortly.
And do you make your own? Do you make your own brown bread?
Jesus, no. It really didn't marry me for my cooking skills, I'm afraid. No. No. We have a lovely super value here that has lovely fresh brown bread. So no.
It's homemade, just not
no time in this house for cooking, I'm afraid. We didn't even get into the banana bread. There was too many horseshoes being cleaned.
Absolutely. And what about yourself, Kapil? What would be your go-to for a quick bite at lunchtime?
Listen, I would give all that credit to my lovely wife. She ensures every single day that, me, kids, everybody is fed for the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we are a vegetarian family. So we make everything at home, right from with the fresh dough we make 3 times a day, and all vegetarian. So I'm very blessed that she looks after us in that way. But my go-to sometime, if it's quick, it's a toasted sandwich with soup. That would be my quick one. But most of the days we eat rice, spicy, hot curries, Indian food.
That's lovely. And what about yourself, John? What would be your go-to quick bite lunch?
If there was anything in the fridge, it would be sourdough bread. I can't eat wheat bread, so it'd be a spelt sourdough bread, which they make in this nice bakery in Limerick. Muller and O'Connell, I believe it is, or Conley. I can't remember exactly, but it's lovely stuff. And they're in the old AIB bank branch, by the way. It's a lovely place. So I go there. We have it on hand. I have that with a bit of cheese that's made by a local producer, usually some type of goat's cheese, and then maybe a little bit of beetroot, some type of relish or chutney on there as well. And that's it. That's all I have.
We'll be making everybody hungry, so we will, Rory.
Yeah.
We'll be making everybody hungry listening to John and Kapil there.
Well, I'm looking forward to the show being over to get home for mine, and I don't even know what's on the menu today, but We'll find out when we get home.
I'm a bit hungry myself now, talking about food. Yeah.
So, has anyone been following the Olympics, or has anyone been absolutely staying up day and night watching it? Or
I didn't even know they were on, Rory, until I picked up I saw the sign on the road, "Good luck" to somebody. And I said, "Oh, good luck in Tokyo." And I'm going, "Gosh, the Olympics are here." So I didn't even know it until I saw a sign. It was coming out of Port Arlington. I was driving out Port Arlington. Some local lad, they said, "Good luck to him." Yeah. Didn't even know it's on.
Well, now I have to say I did, because coming from a house of 3 children that have been involved in sport all their life, I suppose not particularly knowing everybody that's gone to the Olympics, but I certainly would have an interest in looking at it. And I don't know whether you heard this morning, did Kelly Harrington got her silver medal, which is wonderful. And the lads here, because they have been riding and running and whatever for years, have been doing pentathlon, and Natalia Coyle is currently in 2nd or 3rd place as well after her fencing round this morning. So no, I do have an interest in it. I like to, I suppose, support them and keep an eye on them, and purely because I'm coming from a house that's mad into sport, not necessarily hurling, but mad into sport. So I'd always be keeping an eye. It's a great honour that they're out there, and whether they medal or whether they don't, I can tell you the work that they've put in to get there has been absolutely amazing. And I see it myself.
Just being declared an Olympian.
Oh my God.
Outstanding success.
No, in fairness, any of them that have got there have given up years upon years of their lives. They've put other things on hold to give the attention to their sport to get them there. And that's, they have to be commended for that, because that's, it's a wonderful thing to do. And they are, they're the top in their field, and that's the bottom line.
But again, a lot like small business owners, there's pure passion, there's drive, there's determination, right?
Absolutely.
And
yeah,
again,
go on. Yeah, sorry, Rory.
I find regular viewers will know I'm very much. I get up normally between 2:30 and 3 every morning, and I've been sticking it on, and I've been watching some of the most bizarre sports. But I'm getting totally engrossed in it, even though there's sports I'd have absolutely no interest in. So
do have a look at the pentathlon on what day is today? Tomorrow. Now she's Natalia Coyle. She's from Meath, and she's swimming. Only because the lads here have done pentathlon and have been at a kind of fairly high level. So I would be into that. But do look at that. That's going to be really interesting. She's a great girl. So she is. That's her 3rd time to get to the Olympics. And I suppose the lads have competed with her and been on many teams with her as well. So keep an eye on her. But every single one of them that have actually got there, whether they have won a medal or not, they are wonderful.
Absolutely good.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Kapil? Have you been following or?
No, I'm not following it, but as Anne said, like a huge respect, for the preparation, the commitment, and the pride they give to each country, whether they win or lose, different story. But yeah, no, I don't follow, but I enjoy, reading their success stories.
Yeah, I think was it the gymnast the other day? Was the Irish gymnast that his hand got caught? No, I can't even remember his name, but you have to, like, he's a young guy. So it happened and he was out, but he actually got up and did it to show that he could do it. Imagine, right, if it was me, I'd be falling down in a heap and saying it's over. Whereas he put himself up there. I mean, God almighty, they are super.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. So
I might preface that. The reason I don't know about the Olympics is we don't own a TV set. We don't have a TV set in our house, so we wouldn't know a lot about what's going on in the world. So just otherwise we know.
John, no TV.
Sorry? You don't have one either, so yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, I'd say.
And very impressed. You 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m. every day morning. That's incredible.
Well, in part, it's down to having a wonderful lurcher mixed dog who actually kicks me out of the bed quite often at that time. And she has a great technique. She starts off at the ankles and starts nudging at the ankles. If that doesn't work, she moves up to the back of the knees, and then they get
Wow.
pushed. And if that hasn't worked, then it's a case she starts just tapping at my head to say she wants to go out. And so get up, you go down, you let her out, and she will go back in, tear up the stairs, and stretch out on my side of the bed. So there's no room for me to get back in. So that's how it
And you're
started.
awake anyhow, so.
I'm up.
So are
I'm
you
on the
starting
scale.
work at that stage now? Are you actually?
Normally, I would start sorting through emails from about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I'd have 4 or 5 cups of coffee into me first.
Yeah, well, Rory, we spent 16 years in this house being up at 5 because the lads swam. So I have no wish to go back to that. So on you go at your early hours.
No, but in all honesty, I mean, we were away one night last week in relation to work. And even though we had no dog with us and there was nothing going to distract me, I was still up. I had a lie-in. I didn't get up until 4 o'clock that morning. Right? And I went down and I had a cigarette and I came back up and got the coffee going and that type of thing. So it's inbred in me to be up early, and so that's just what I tend to do.
Yeah, I'm up early myself. I'm up with the sun this time of the year. So, gosh, at the solstice in June, I'm probably up at 2:30 in the morning. I think that's when twilight started then. Now it's a bit later now, so I'm probably not up until around 4:30. I'm being up now. And
Jesus, lads.
like you, I have to have the coffee in me, so to get going. And but yeah, it's you get a lot done. I end up doing a lot of chores around the house. I do my chores around the house in the morning, and then work doesn't start till around 8. Actually, work doesn't start till around 8. I have coffee, breakfast, do some chores and that, and then I start work. Yeah.
No, but again, we all have our own individual uniqueness and in the ways we
Yeah.
like to work. And
Yep.
I mean,
Indeed.
like Cheryl, who's the one controlling all the buttons on the show here.
Mm.
Cheryl's far happier getting up at maybe 6:30, 7, but she'd be quite happy to work on late into the night.
I'm one of these people who gets like
See,
4 or
that's
5
me
hours
as
of sleep.
well now.
I'm doing both.
Yeah.
I'm doing both ends. It's
Yeah.
just I require like 3 or 4 hours sleep, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm
No, well, I'd be the same, but I've got to the point now after being so unwell in 2017.
Yeah.
I've got to the point now that come about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm done. I've taken all computers out of the house.
yeah.
The only access I have to emails is through my phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
you were
there-
always accessible. At one time, you were always accessible. This is just
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right,
that's
but now-
good because at least, Rory, then you can actually settle down, because in fairness, you do need that downtime as well. Now,
absolutely.
I'm getting up later, but I could be still working at 11 o'clock at night, and that's fine too,
Yeah.
But I am glad that I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore.
Yeah. No, well, it's all about getting the balance
Yeah,
just right.
yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Bill, you're staying very quiet on that one now.
Bill, what's your thoughts? You an early morning, late night?
I sleep around 12 o'clock and I wake up around 7 o'clock. So I do take 7 hours sleep. I'm not a very early morning person, but I get things done during the day. That's it. But I switch off by 6, 5:30 in the evening latest. That's my
Yeah,
day
which is
schedule.
good. Which is good to be able to do that now, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is because of the phone thing, you still, after 2 hours, you still may, while eating, you just click, by default, you press the button on your email. But I'm stop looking at the emails after 8 o'clock because, sometimes you have some email and you start thinking about next day. So I am trying to avoid that as much as possible now.
Yeah, and that is important because you could get very easily sucked into to going back and looking and doing work as well as
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
For me, it's a lot of times with COVID on, my workflow has been dictated by the orders that come in. So I could have all of a sudden, 10 orders come in, and I have to fulfill them. I'm doing all this myself for the most part. The orders. So I'm the shipping department and everything. So I make and I'm putting I'm doing it all. And so if 10 orders come in, which I don't want to come in one, I don't want that many in one day, to be honest, because it ruins my evening, because then I have to get it all ready for the next day. So I try, it's just it takes a fair amount of time with each order, probably. Oh gosh, because I'm not set up yet in the new facility. If I was in the new facility, we have a shipping room and all this, and plant, and we have tables and whatnot, but we can't go in there because it's not heated and this and that and other thing. It all has to be finished. But anyhow, it could take me 10 orders. It could take me 3-4 hours to do that many orders. Whereas if I set up where I could just grab from the shelf this, and it would go half the time. It's very inefficient right now, but. Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, one question I do have, and I'm going to direct this more so towards Kapil, because I'm particularly interested on a mentor's view on this. When it comes time to take, whether it's a day off, a weekend off, or a week's holidays, or 2 weeks holidays, whatever it is, how often should you actually be checking your work email or communicating with people when you're supposed to be on holidays?
I would say it depends upon what stage of business you are in, Rory.
Yeah.
For example, if you are in a very early stage of the business, it's all about hustle. It's all about, the trying to manage multiple things yourself. So I think the first couple of years, which is very hustling years, very difficult to switch off completely, because you are your customer service department, and if you don't respond to client within 24 hours, 48 hours, they will get offended, and you need to do that. It is a responsibility. It's not that you want to do, but you need to do it. So it's a difference between I want to do it, I need to do it, or I have to do it. That's kind of three boxes you have there. So I think in a very early stage of business, when everything is dependent on you, it's very difficult to switch off completely. You could set some boundaries, but I don't think you can take a week off without looking at your emails. Impossible at this stage. However, when you pass on that level to where you have a proof of concept and your business is moving to next level, which is all about systems, where basically your intention is to slowly and gradually sack yourself from every job that you're doing. Then you can start thinking about, how can I actually not check this email and have somebody else responsible for that part of the job. For example, you may have some message on social media, but if you don't have somebody looking for after social media, you have to respond to it. And likewise, the order. So you need to slowly sack yourself and have people looking after that part. At that level, Rory, I can safely say, you can switch off, have a life in Portugal and Spain and relax on the beach, not thinking about business. But until then, you are your business, and this is what you signed up for. So all I would say is set boundaries, but you still will be checking. There is no escape route. This is what, welcome to the world of entrepreneurship.
And what would your thoughts be on that, John?
I agree completely. I have a friend that's he was the chairman of a €5 billion company, and I believe when he goes off on holiday, he's on holiday. He just cuts all ties. And he's gone. Whereas myself, every day, you don't take a holiday. Basically a true holiday, or I haven't. In years now. But that's okay, so we have our downtime. I go to the gym every day, and that's, I go into my zone and I'm zoned out. And that's when the phone goes off and I don't touch anything, so I get my couple hours a day and I'm happy out. And if I'm going up to Belfast, stay with my wife, and we're staying in the hotel, I switch the phone off for, 12 hours, but that's about the size of it, yeah.
What about yourself, Anne? Do you ever manage to get any?
No, I very much agree with Kapil on that. It's you have to put in.
Right, I think we've just lost Anne there.
Yeah, looks that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kapil, tell me, what's next for you in business? What are your plans for the future?
Like in terms of the All Island Business Foundation, we are very committed and passionate about, identifying, acknowledging, and serving the accredited members we have, from the All Star membership. And I think the foundation, our biggest priority is to help clients to collaborate with the fellow companies we have in the program. We have 500 plus at the moment, so that's the number one priority, is to encourage more collaboration. And the second priority is also to enable more learning opportunity, peer learning opportunity between the companies. Because see, at the end of the day, whether you are a small business, or you're a butcher, pharmacy, or whatever your business is, the fundamental challenges for businesses are still same day, as they were 100 years ago. The only thing which is changing on a yearly basis or monthly basis, the tactics to use in the business. But I think I'm very passionate about, focus on the fundamentals, because once you have a grip on the fundamentals, rest everything is manageable. So that's the priority, encourage more collaboration, learning at the foundation level. And of course, the third objective is to expand our reach, influence, and impact at the regional level, in every county in Ireland. That's what where business is heading into.
Absolutely brilliant. And welcome back there, Anne. We had lost you there.
Yeah, what happened there? God. Yeah, no, all I
The
was going
joys
to
of modern
say,
technology
Rory,
and
was
live broadcasts.
absolutely, and real life. All I was going to say was I very much agree with Kapil, and I think for customer service, you have to, people expect a reply, whatever you're doing now. So I do think for customer service, you really do need to be replying. And I'm looking forward to the day, using Kapil's words there, sacking myself on various jobs and being able to put somebody else in the role. So there's what I can aspire to today.
Welcome, and it all starts from here.
That's it.
And what are the plans then for Biddies over the coming years, months, years?
Oh my God, Rory, I have so many plans. Look I suppose I have been lucky, for want of a better word. In December, January, I was able to, I suppose, subcontract some of the work out, which made a huge difference to me. So that was one job I was able to sack myself in, Kapil. So moving on from there, I am getting somebody in to give me another little bit of help with the likes of social media and whatever. So that's a huge bonus for me. We have been lucky enough to get a few corporate orders, and I hope to build on that. And then on, I suppose, an ordinary level, to continue to make individual pieces for people that they can share with their family and friends. That's going to be, I suppose, a good luck wish. I suppose the other side of my business, Rory, is when I started it, it's probably something that I didn't actually look at. That a lot of people want to wish good luck to people that are maybe struggling with something or undergoing treatment, or there's various things, and I do an awful lot of that. So if somebody is, I suppose, going through treatment and you want to wish them well, to give them a horseshoe is a beautiful thing, and it means so much. And that's probably a side that I hadn't even thought of. And that's a really busy space at the moment. And that's a very individual thing. And I want to continue to do that, because that is a special side, or for babies or whatever. And it's, something. And I suppose that's going into kind of the ethos of, I don't know whether you saw recently there that I was doing a fundraiser for Cleanest Foundation. Now, I would be very much, I give back a lot anyway. I know John Paul's not on the call, but he would know the Carlow Kilkenny Home Care team and Chuck Tom here in Kilkenny, who I do contribute to, because I do feel that if I'm lucky enough to be in a position to be able to share something, isn't it great to be able to give back a little bit as well? And I suppose, all my, I suppose, entire life, I've been fundraising for various things. Now, that could have been sporting, because my kids were involved in sporting. So I would have done an awful lot over the years. And I suppose while I was in AXA, we would have done for Make-A-Wish and some of those foundations, But I always feel that you need to give back, and if by giving back, things come to you. So
absolutely agree.
Yeah. So a lot of what I do is, and that kind of ties in with a little bit of the good luck for people that are not well, or I suppose I'm making a fairy door at the minute, Rory, just to give you an example. And it's for a little child that's 18 months old, a twin that's in the middle of treatment at the moment. And honestly, things like that, if I can make something that's going to give a little bit of pleasure to that child and that family, isn't that so wonderful? And I'm able to do that. I mean, how good is that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And right, so we move on now to yourself, John. What has Bend the Barrow got planned for next?
Well, it's actually Irish Makers Markets that hopefully lift the other boat. So we started up the second company, Irish Makers Markets. It's a limited company also. And we, like I said, we couldn't, when we come last year, COVID came on, there were no markets, so we created our own. And that's what we're doing again. We're starting up and creating a market. And then if the other ones come on again, well, we could be back to those as well. And hopefully things will even out so we can, on the COVID front, so people can travel again, get my workers back over here from Estonia, finish out the factory, and then it's upwards and onwards until, that time I'm going to work on the Irish Makers Markets and push forward, because actually with Irish Makers Markets, the local people were fantastic. I was doing as much business in Kildare town as I was in Dublin, not Dublin Castle. I was doing Christmas at Dublin Castle the year before, it was 2019. Before COVID came on, and it was fantastic. We didn't do that much, but I'd say we did as much or better than anywhere else in the country in Kildare town, the way the people came out and decided to buy local. And if people continue doing that, I'll be happy out.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you all very much, Capel, John and Anne, for joining us today. Unfortunately, the clock has beaten us and we've run out of time.
Thank you, Rory.
We will put contact details for everyone up after the show, and we look forward to you all joining us in 2 weeks' time again. Looking forward to it.
Thanks a million.